The Invisible Man. Now, this is a movie that I saw recently. I really didn't have almost any expectations for it going in. I didn't look up any of the trailers. I had seen one person's review on it, and they didn't even review it that good. So again, I didn't have much expectations for it. The movie shut down. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna try out this movie. I've never really seen any Invisible Man style movie. I remember somebody talking very badly about Hollow Man years and years and years ago. I can't remember if I did end up re-seeing it, but I feel like I haven't never watched any movie with any invisible person where that's the main character. The whole movie is essentially about a psychopathic guy somehow has invisible technology trying to get this girl, and this girl's basically trying to fully escape from him or get everyone else to understand how crazy everything is, or that he's actually doing these things to her because he's invisible. Certain people aren't really believing what she has to say. There isn't much backstory or side plots. It's literally just that the main character girl, can she fully get away from him or stop all this stuff from happening? That's really the extent of it. But to me, I know that's very simple, but I understood it. I didn't really need much more, although I wanted a little more to enjoy it. That's just as much as I needed. I was okay with it. I could see some people not liking the story for that. Let's jump into the pros of this. I had a decent amount of pros and a decent amount of cons. So the invisible scenes. Now, that's the whole kind of gimmick is, okay, there's this guy who's invisible and there's this girl who's pretty smart. How are you going to use this person to go and mess with her while making it seem believable, while making her unable to fully stop him, and unable to kind of prove what he's doing? They made it very realistic and believable. The times that he would jump into real life and do stuff, there's certain things that he did that I would have never thought you could do as an invisible person. Rethinking it, yes, you could. I just never thought about it. And the times that he would kind of go and mess her life up or, make things worse for her, I just almost never saw coming. I really, really enjoyed when they used the invisible scenes. Almost all of them I found to be kind of outside the box and not what I was expecting. It has some little details. I'm glad I could rewind and go back and look at a few things. But the way that they show it, you kind of don't know if it was one way or the other. There was a certain scene in the beginning where she's looking at him and then she looks at his face and she almost has this reaction like his eyes moved or something. You can't really see his eyes, and I had to go back and look at it. And there was also another time where she's walking around the house and then all of a sudden there was a door that was open that she passed by a little while ago, and you're like, was that door open the whole time? I don't remember. I just wasn't paying attention. So I went and going back and looking at it. I won't tell you guys any of that, but little details you could miss, and I kind of appreciate that because I'm studying this to my best of my ability. You showed me something and I just missed it, and I appreciate that level of detail into the story. I really, really enjoyed when they use the invisible scenes outside of the box. It doesn't really bother me that she can't get anybody to believe her because it's just so realistic in my opinion. All right, guys, the cons is the length. I think it's about 2 hours, and it had a little bit of slow parts. After that main escape scene in the very beginning, like I was talking about, it kind of slows down. She's in more of a rural neighborhood, and it takes a good amount of time for things really to amp up. They could have cut a little bit out here, 10 to 15 minutes or so. That would have been good. And it had a few slow parts, but besides that, I wish it was faster, but I wasn't taken out of it for me personally. The ending could have been a little more elaborate. Everything makes sense, everything kind of ties up, but I wish we saw more information. It ties everything up really quick and easy. I just wish it was a little bit more elaborate. I don't really want to give in any spoilers, but the way that the Invisible Man is near the end of the movie isn't nearly as sinister as he is in the middle. He really is this very sinister, maniacal guy. You almost can understand his personality and where he's coming from just by how he uses his invisibility. And I think there's maybe a few times where he would say a word or two, but just he's very malicious in how he uses it. And by the end, he kind of just seems a little bit G-rated. It would be nice to see little hints of that viciousness. That's pretty much all the cons. But to me, this movie is a strong watch, guys. I really, really enjoyed it. I think this was one of the guys who usually teams with James Wan. So he's worked with James Wan before. I absolutely love James Wan. Anyways, guys, I give this a strong watch. And again, maybe you're mainly watching for how they're going to use the invisible scenes. It's really just a simple cat and mouse game, not much story. This guy's obsessed with this girl, and you don't really understand why, because she's really just an average girl, and this guy is just in shape and he's super obsessive, and you're like, you know, it'd be nice to see a little more backstory, or maybe, you know, some history about like things that happened that got him so interested in this girl, you know. But anyways, guys, I'd give this a strong watch. I really enjoyed it. You've heard my pros, you've heard my cons. What do you think of this movie down below? Should I check out any other Invisible movies? We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers, and I couldn't do it without any of you guys' help. You guys are the best. I'm having a great day out here. Hopefully having a great day at home. See you all in the next video. Peace.